I cannot stop loving Don Bluth's Anastasia, so today let's get into the full backstory of Vladimir Vonya Vonitsky Vasilovich, or just Vlad for the casual fans. I got a new puppy. Stay tuned at the end. We're gonna derps with her a little bit. Yes. Mwah. Hey friends and family members, I'm McGann, and welcome to the Fangirl, where we deep dive into movies that no one is still watching. Actually, thanks to Disney Plus, that's not exactly true now. At least I hope it's not the case that no one is still watching this fantastic movie, because it was one of my first major fandoms growing up, along with Gargoyles, and wow, have my eyes been open after seeing Anastasia the stage play. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, please stop watching this right now and get on Disney Plus to see it. Although I do have to say, the play is a lot more realistic and much more adult-oriented. And it also gives us a lot more backstory to certain characters. One such character is Vlad, who says he faked his way into becoming part of the Imperial Court. He was just a total fraud who pretended to be a count, and nobody really questioned him. And even though the play and the movie do have a number of very big differences, even with Vlad. For example, he is in love with Sophie in the movie and Lily in the play, and he also has no backstory in the movie whatsoever. He's just a random older fella who hangs out with a young man for reasons unknown, and he somehow has a little something something with the Empress's cousin. Which means, at best, the movie and the play are alternate realities of each other. So these are not direct parallels where the answers in one would fix the plot holes in the other. However, I do think the movie has enough hint of Vladimir's backstory that we can make this work. And looking just at the movie now, what do we really know about Vlad other than he had some pre-existing relationship with Sophie? Well, pretty much the only other notable thing that Vlad does in the entire movie is sing the lead vocals to the song Learn to Do It. And if you haven't heard that song, it's pretty much Vladimir and Dmitri trying to teach Anya all the history of the royal family, how to act, what to do, what to say, all that sort of stuff. And the main chorus is, "If I can learn to do it, you can learn to do it." Which is very curious since the movie never goes any deeper with Vlad's history. And while that simple lyric isn't a fully stated backstory, that does give us a lot of implication that stage Vlad and movie Vlad share the same background. And the really telling thing about the song Learn to Do It is that it's not just a chorus where everybody's singing, "If I can learn to do it, you can learn to do it." It's specifically Vlad that sings that line. When Dmitri chimes in to sing along, he says, "If he can learn to do it, you can learn to do it." So it's not that these two con men have just studied up on how the royals behave and now they're teaching that to Anya. No. Even though both guys know exactly what to do, it's only Vlad who's claiming to have already learned how to do these things. That these are already accomplishments that Vlad can claim to be an expert in. Remember, when Dmitri was a kid, he worked in the kitchens for the palace. So if they were just teaching Anya how to act like a royal based on what they knew, then both of the men should have been experts in the matter. The song even shows us this. When the guys start singing about how to walk and posture and the royal who's who, both men are doing the things they're singing about. So even though Dmitri has learned how to do all of these behaviors and he's memorized all of these facts, he does not consider himself an expert like Vlad does. So what exactly did Vlad do to be considered such an example that everyone needs to follow his lead? Well, I think it fits that a current day con man would have molded himself from a previous con man. He didn't just wake up one day and said, "Oh, I'm gonna con people now." He's been doing it his entire life. So Vlad could have been some imposter count that just strolled into the court one day and sold his lie. I mean, who's really gonna insult a count by asking him too many questions? The servants certainly aren't. Do you want to be executed? Because that sounds like a good way to get yourself executed. And I don't think the royals would really question a man who could walk, talk, and act like them because they think that's all from proper breeding. In their minds, lower-born people wouldn't be able to pull off such a transition. Truly, it is almost amazing how rich people seem to think that their servants can't see, hear, or comprehend anything around them. So I could totally believe that an imperial court in the 1900s would not fathom that a lower-born person could infiltrate their ranks. Plus, I guess the threat of embarrassing the Tsar and getting executed would be a stellar deterrent there. But hey, when you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. So Vlad just went for it and successfully posed as a count in Tsar Nicholas's court. So that means that Vlad and Dmitri aren't really this BFF duo like the movie makes them seem. They're together for a common necessity, and Vlad probably taught Dmitri a lot of cons to help him survive as a child. After all, the Dmitri we see as a kid in the movie seemed like a very honest, hard-working young man. He was a servant in the palace, and he helped Anastasia and the Dowager Empress escape when he could have been looting or satisfying his bloodlust like everybody else in St. Petersburg was doing. I mean, this was a revolution after all, and Dmitri was one of the have-nots, so there would have been no finer time to turn on your bosses. So that means somebody took Dmitri from doe-eyed sweet kid to a man that's gonna lie his way into a fortune, and the best answer we can pull out of everything we know is that Vlad did it. Vlad became Dmitri's surrogate father figure once the country changed, not out of the goodness of his heart, but because Vlad didn't want to become a street sweeper after living like a royal for years. Vlad would do whatever he had to keep on living as comfortably as possible, and that's why the two of them were still living in the abandoned palace. And if Vlad did train some cutesy kid to go around stealing for him, one, that gives him plausible deniability if the kid gets caught. I didn't tell him to steal things, officer. I've never seen this child before in my life. And two, Vlad wouldn't actually have to do any of the dirty work himself. So Vlad was teaching Dmitri things to help the kid feel safer in a now unstable country, while Dmitri would repay that kindness with food or money. I mean, seriously, you have a country here where people are starving and food is being heavily rationed, and then there's Vlad, who is a 300-pound, 40-something-year-old man walking around. That doesn't tend to happen very often. This many years after the revolution, Vlad should be pixie stick sized. But he's not, because somebody else is busting their butt to keep Vlad fed, while Vlad is holding on desperately to the palace life that he feels cheated out of. So Vlad is ultimately assisting in forging documents and training a fake Anastasia because Vlad doesn't have any skill sets that would be worthwhile in the new government. He's a dying relic that, once again, has nothing to lose. I mean, Vlad knows how to infiltrate royal hives by acting a certain way, and that's the end of his talents. And that's why Vlad was needed in the fake Anastasia plan, and Dmitri didn't just work alone. Dmitri was the one who used to work in the palace, but Vlad knew all those nitty-gritty details that you had to have to pass yourself off as a royal, because that's what he did with himself. Now, if you don't agree with me, I invite you to provide a better scenario in the comments. There is so little known about Vlad, and we don't even know what happens to him at the end of the movie after Anastasia gets with the Dowager Empress. So I'd like to think that Vlad continued his con and married Sophie, who has no idea that he's not a real count. It might not be reality, but theories are more fun. Okay guys, you made it through this long video, probably just to shoot a puppers. This is, you don't know where to look yet, huh? You don't know how to be a star. There you go. This is Bean. She is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel that is just a tiny bit over 8 weeks old. The full name we call her is Princess Tia Beanie Maria Beanie de la Rochambeau Grunkwitz. Oh, look how tiny she is, and her tail's all tucked up. She's a little bit scared. She doesn't know what all these bright lights are about, and she's not happy about it. On the family, I did do a little welcome home bean video where she's playing and I show all her toys and stuffies. So if you really want to see her active, you can see that. But she's a little, oh, you're so sweet. I love you so much. She's a little darling. I would love to say that I am perfectly understanding of this breed, but there are still some things that are kind of new to me. I had corgis for years and years, and then before that I've had Jack Russells and a Peekapoo who was a very mean doggy. Yes, she was, but you're not like that. You're a sweetheart. But we wanted a small dog to kind of work into a therapy dog for Archer, and this breed is not supposed to shed a ton. They're not supposed to bark very often. When she does bark, it sounds like a squeaky toy. It's the cutest thing. And they're just supposed to be really smart and easy to train and such good loyal puppers. And one of my favorite things about her, you see her black fur. Now you're gonna turn on me. The black fur. Pick a side. The black fur on her ear. If you turn her ear inside out, it's all red fur in there. It's so cute. Can they see your face? Can they see your face? I know you don't like all these lights. Oh, look at my little googly-eyed baby. Say hi, Bean. She doesn't have a rapid heart rate or anything, but she's very tolerant. She's very good. She doesn't make much noise at all so far. You're my sweetheart. But yes, I'm considering doing some more puppy videos on the family, but I don't know. You guys head over there and watch it and tell me what you think. And I think poor Bean is still really tired, so we'll just let her rest. You ready to go rest? Yeah, I made you wake up to come on here. I know. I so mean. Oh, you gonna give me lickies? I would just let you be silly with me all day if you want. Oh my gosh, guys. You guys want a Cavalier. They're so sweet. I've loved my corgis, but they are like so difficult sometimes. They get so headstrong, and if you don't have them trained immediately, they're gonna start training you. But you're just a little passive sweetheart, aren't ya? You're just so cute. Okay, guys, we're gonna stop derping. Oh, you got a little yawn. We're gonna stop derping, and I'm gonna go play with my puppy and take her out to the... Go potty. Yeah, go potty. Yeah. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye. Fonitsky Vlasilovich, or Vlad for the casual fans. Come, my minions, rise for your master. One such character... Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Family and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos like you helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.